Hey, what's up guys, it's Glink. I've been having a lot of fun lately playing Marksman in Arena in Legion. Unexpectedly, I found a talent build for this spec that's actually really fluid, really intuitive, and just works really well. And a lot of people seem to be curious about Marksman, so I'm going to be going over the talent build, the playstyle, and my thoughts on the spec in general, as well as the comps I think that will work best with Marksman. Alright, so quickly I'm going to go over the talents I use and why I use them. So for the first tier, you can either go Steady Focus or Lone Wolf. Usually Lone Wolf seems to be best for 2s, since it does give you 18% more damage, which is great for getting those quick kills, but you can't use your pet at all, which means you lose Mortal Strike debuff on your target, so they will be receiving the full healing, but oftentimes in 2s this isn't too big of a deal. However, for 3s, I think Steady Focus is the best because you get to keep your pet, keep Mortal Strike, you're also able to maintain a higher focus bar with the Steady Focus effect, and plus you get your pet abilities like Roar of Sacrifice. For the next tier, I either go Lock and Load or Black Arrow. Lock and Load is actually a little bit more bursty sometimes. If you get good RNG, you can actually do a lot of damage with those instant aim shot procs, but Black Arrow is more consistent damage, it's more reliable damage, and I think it's just more damage overall, so usually I would go with Black Arrow for this talent. Next tier, again, Post Haste, always my favorite. Far Strider Dash, not really that great. For the level 60 tier, I always go Patient Sniper. Patient Sniper is great because it actually increases your focus pool, and it makes your vulnerable targets take more damage. However, it does not stack, but it's more immediate damage, it's more upfront damage, it's great. For the level 75 tier, you can either go Binding Shot or Wyvern Sting, but because you're going to go Frost Arrow with the PvP talents usually, I think Binding Shot is the way to go, but of course you can go Wyvern. And actually Camouflage can be good too if you're playing with a stealth class or you want to get a good opener. For the level 90 tier, I always go Barrage because Barrage is a low cooldown, it's a nice filler spell, it does great damage, and it actually works pretty well with True Shot Aura. For the level 100 talents, I always go Sidewinders. This is the game changer. This is what makes Marksman fun for me anyways, because actually depending on your talents, Marksman is played pretty differently. I'm going to get into that here with the Honor talents. Alright, so for the Honor talents, first tier, pretty much always go Trinket. Second tier, I actually take Initiation, but Quick Shots can also be good here, which increases your haste by 6%, and haste is a pretty major stat for Marksman. However, Initiation is nice because you get to just chunk down people's health bar, gaining 30% crit chance on targets above 80% health. Third tier, Survival Tactics, as usual, great defensive ability. The fourth tier, this one's kind of interesting because these stings only apply on aimed shot, not on arcane shot or sidewinders as you might think, meaning it's going to be pretty hard to get an effective Viper Sting because that essentially means you're going to have to be aim shotting the healer for it to work properly, and that's not really going to be easy to do. So I usually go for Scorpid Sting or Spider Sting. Scorpid Sting is generally better versus physical and melee classes, and Spider Sting is better versus casters. For the next tier, I'm pretty much always going Freezing Arrow, although I have seen Scattershot be used as well. Freezing Arrow is great because it's basically like an AoE trap that is a spell cast rather than launching a trap. So it's more guaranteed, but at the same time, you can also be kicked on it, you can be stunned on it. It comes with all the disadvantages of casting a spell, but of course you don't have to aim it like a trap either. And for the last tier, this is pretty essential to this build that I run. You have to go Spray and Pray because it actually reduces the cooldown of your Sidewinders by 30%, which is huge. It gives you so much more uptime and so much more abilities to press. Alright, so now that I've gone over the talents, I'm going to kind of give you guys an overview of how I'm playing the spec, how I've made it effective, and why I'm having so much fun with it. Alright, so what Sidewinders do is that they replace Arcane Shot and Multi-Shot, and you get 2 charges of it with this spec. And they really are kind of like a Glaive Toss, Arcane Shot, and Multi-Shot combined. They do a little bit of AoE damage, they do strong single target damage, and the great part is it applies the vulnerable effect. And what that does is that it sets you up for Mark Shot and Aim Shot, which will now do 150% more damage to those vulnerable targets. You get Mark Shots by getting procs from your Sidewinders or from auto attacks, and then you pretty much just want to use it every time you get a Mark Shot proc. When you can, it's really good to Aim Shot, even though you do have to stand still, and it does have a cast time. If you can find an opportunity, it's really strong to get those aim shots off, especially when you use your cooldown True Shot Aura, which increases your haste by 40% and makes all of your Sidewinders, not just some of them, apply the Hunter's Mark effect, which again activates your Mark Shot, meaning you get guaranteed procs, guaranteed more damage, and allows you to just spam aim shot if you have the chance to, since you have so much more haste. And by having Black Arrow and Barrage, it allows you to have some other spells to use when you don't get those procs and when you cannot use aim shot. Black Arrow only has a 14-second cooldown, Barrage has a 20-second cooldown, so basically how I start off every fight is I start off with Sidewinders. If I get a proc for Mark Shot, I'll use that. If not, I'll apply Black Arrow, Barrage if I can, and then if I see that I have the opportunity to spam aim shots, I'll usually be using True Shot Aura. Even if not, I'll probably still use it, use Sidewinders again, get a guaranteed Mark Shot proc, and repeat. You also have your Artifact Weapon, which is kind of interesting. It doesn't really build off of anything. Basically, you just use it as a separate casted shot, which always applies vulnerable, and the target that it hits will leave a trail behind that will increase you and your party's movement speed by 50% when walking through it. So it's a good way to catch up on enemies that are kiting and running away. If this all sounds really complicated to you, it's kind of hard to explain. You kind of have to play Marksman, test it out, out and see for yourself. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's really fun. I enjoy it a lot. It's really intuitive. It's really fast paced. There's a little bit of RNG, which I think is okay. A good amount of consistent damage and a ton of burst if you're able to set it up properly with spamming aim shot with true shot aura and getting mark shot procs. It's great. CC wise, it's actually pretty strong too, which is another aspect that I love about it. You're not just a damage bot. You actually have bursting shot as a baseline ability, which is like a really close range dragon's breath / scatter shot, which I'll often use as a peel in something like 2s and usually try to use it on the healer for more CC and then set up with my frost arrow out of that. Frost arrow again is like trap. It freezes the target you hit for 8 seconds. And then of course you have your interrupt as well. So you have a decent amount of CC. I actually really like the play style of Marksman right now. It's super balanced with CC, consistent pressure, good burst. And since you don't have to run in like survival, you're actually able to live and kite pretty long as well. I actually think Marksman might be the top spec when Legion comes out. We'll have to see. It's going to be kind of competing with BM, of course, but it certainly has way more finesse than BM. It's significantly harder to play correctly, has a bit more of a learning curve, and I really enjoy it much more for that reason. It's way more rewarding to play. So we can only hope that Marksman makes the cut. If not, I guess we'll all just go back to BM, but even then, I think Marksman will still have some niche comps that it can do better with than BM. Speaking of comps, I think Marksman will be great with anything that has a lot of setup, that can stun targets, that can peel a lot. Thug Cleave with a rogue who knows how to stun and knows how to shut down a team can be awesome, since it's going to allow you to get those aim shots off, allow you to get your damage out. Marksman hunters are the most dangerous when they're being untouched, when they're not being trained, when they're able to just get out the damage that they want and just turret their damage into whoever their target is, because it will usually melt in a few seconds if you get your damage lined up. I don't think Marksman's going to be so great for chasing down and killing healers, just because you do have aim shot as most of your burst, although I could see it happening, so I wouldn't rule that out at all. Demon Hunter Marksman can also be a good comp. I was actually playing it a little bit in 3s. Demon Hunters have a good amount of CC that you can actually CC off of. They have their imprisonment, which you can scatter off of or trap off of, and then they have a stun as well, which again allows you to set up, so a good amount of CC for healers, a lot of consistent damage with that comp. I love the flexibility of Lone Wolf and Steady Focus, both of which are great, so you can use them for whatever situation's better. Again, maybe you're not queuing 3s, you're going to queue 2s into double DPS or doing a 1v1 or something. In that case, Lone Wolf is going to give you a lot more upfront damage as long as you don't have to worry about their self-healing. Black Arrow is so greatly designed. I actually like this design better than the old Black Arrow because it's more bursty, it's a shorter cooldown, you use it more often, it works better into the rotation. It's not this like long cumbersome thing that awkwardly you have to reapply every 30 seconds and stuff. That takes a ton of focus. No, it's just quick, easy to do. You use it first, you use it early, you get some damage out. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm really enjoying Marksman. I've been playing it a lot. I hope this video helped you guys out. Let me know if it did. Give me some feedback. Let me know what kind of other videos you guys want to see. I can show you guys some clips, analyze some 3v3 games, that kind of thing. Gonna be having some more content out. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.